by faith. And if any man draws back, my soul will not be happy with him. A long time ago, a great warrior faced a situation. It was necessary for him to make a decision which ensured his success in the battlefield. He was about to send his army against a powerful foe whose men outnumbered his own. He loaded his soldiers and equipment, then gave the order to burn the ship that had carried them across the river. Addressing these men before the first battle, he said, "You see those boats going up in smoke? That means we cannot leave this shore alive unless we win. We have no choice. It's either we win or we perish." And actually, they won. Winning is not an alternative. It is a compulsory subject in the course of life. Faith does not bow to challenges. Faith does not consider obstacles. Winning is a habit. You have no choice than to win. It's either you succeed or you succeed. It's either you are healed or you are healed. It's either you make it or you make it. There is nothing like plan B. Plan A must work. Whatever you desire must be granted. Whatever you believe God for must be released. Oftentimes we give up so easily. Discouraged by unsuccessful attempt to accomplish our dreams, we surrender and say it was never meant to be. I need you to know that failure and success comes in one inseparable package. Successful people do not reach success because they never failed, but rather because no matter how many times they fail, they opt to continue trying. Big shot are only little shot who keep shooting. I pray for you that you will not give up easily. I pray that you will not change your mind just because of an attack. I pray that you will not end the journey just because of obstacles. I pray that your faith will be solidly rooted, well grounded, firm and sure, because that is the only way you're going to make it. God bless you until I come your way same time tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. We hope that you have been blessed through the man of God, Pastor Prince George, lead pastor of the Gospel Foundation Mission, aka Miracle Palace, number 2, Ikonabasi Street, Uyo. Call us on 0802 667 4001, 0802 667 4001. God bless you.
Yeah, what you gonna do now?
This is
Super Radio. Super Radio.
1069 xl1069fm. Uncle, welcome.
Uncle yung edo uncle welcome. Ndiro mo for me sobi manyang dang dim bong ayun ga yung asem sobi ikom bo aga na me ga di hanyang fo agere die
the telephone dara UT for short please.
So o telephone dara anye ke fo be ne koro UT for short please anye me ge ni ga don ayina ga me nam so yen ni to ku fo makara ba bon ikom mo di semi ko nginem se so bi nang ndum to dui ko ngang ne me di so mo ma abase yakaso ma ge ai ra mi ba ku mi afuka to tuke amedi on te photo atuke
a car bone.
We need to think our future.
I need on the you got on you get body combone. You no young one nakandami.
Wait, you said what?
Go to me.
Guy, we don't talk since so. Ha, make I go do my work, eh? We go continue this talk later.
Oh boy, you don't talk. Haba, you know the tire.
Now the new level be that too. This new MTN sachet bundle don't make life easy for me.
Brotherly, involve me now. Make myself they follow ya like you. Talk until you tire. When you day on top the new MTN sachet bundles, dial *312*7# and press 2 to start to enjoy from 100 naira. Load down, talk they go.
Pass me the ball, Joe.
See, now who the lip come so?
Na Henry, hey, oh boy, which time begin limp with walking stick now?
Now muscle had dry pains. Since that yesterday game, he come be like say the time I muscle to my bones.
Henry,
now so you come the use stick waka like papa. You never hear of Vilicin Balm?
Vilicin Balm na brand of methyl salicylate and menthol crystal. We will give you effective and soothing relief from body pain, aches, lumbago and rheumatism. Whether na for work or play, Vilicin na effective soothing balm for old and young people them.
Henry, my man. Now you the dribble like this? Where you walking stick now?
Vilicin Balm. Rub am for cold, catarrh, aches and pains. Vilicin balm na daily need industries dey make am. If you no better after 3 days, abeg go see your doctor o.
Super phone. Any decision where you want take wey concern your phones, electronics and other gadgets, carry super phone for mine o. You wan buy super phone, you wan repair super phone, because super phone work na to reduce the blood pressure of country people from overthinking and worries. That na why you fit buy phone and electronic from super phone, carry am go your house and dey pay small till you pay finish. Everything wey you buy for super phone, e get warranty, and even if dem repair something give you before you carry am go, dem go still give you warranty. Wey mean say if you go reach house e no work well or e spoil, you bring am back, super phone go repair am for you or they go replace am. If you get old phone where you know they send again, carry am go super phone. At small money, they go give you new one. If you know one new one, they go collect the old phone, still give you small money. Them they sell phones, laptops, computer, security camera, walkie-talkie, children's educational tab, games, high-tech equipment, smartwatch, perfumes, all kind of accessories for phone and electronic. Yakpa for there. Carry waka go for super phone. Their office there for number 116 Oron Road for Uyo. You fit call their telephone for 0803 500 9432. Super phone.
Little cough, sir, in my little chest, sir. Anytime I cough, sir, it makes a happy sound, sir.
I see. You have a cough. I know just what you need. I'll give you Uniplex. It will clear your chest fast. Fast. Clear your chest fast.
Uniplex. Uniplex.
Uniplex cough syrup gives you relief from sore throat, cold and chesty coughs. Manufactured by Daily Needs Industries Limited. Uniplex cough syrup is for children and adults.
Uniplex. Uniplex.
If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
For the first time in history, 48 nations will battle for football's top prize at the biggest sporting event on the planet. The 2026 FIFA World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Get ready for the excitement in World Cup X-Ray, your daily destination. For match reviews, expert analysis, breaking news, fan reactions, and everything from the world's biggest football spectacle on xl1069 FM. Mondays, 2 p.m. Tuesdays to Thursdays, 5:15 p.m. Fridays, 12 p.m. and Saturdays, 4 p.m. Join us as we bring the passion, drama, and unforgettable moments of the FIFA World Cup straight to your home. For partnership and sponsorship, call Wheels on 0701-808-1818. 0701-808-1818. World Cup X-Ray. One world, one tournament, one fiesta. Exclusive to XL1069 FM.
Yeah, what you gonna do now?
This is
Super Radio. Super Radio.
1069 XL FM.
4 years of waiting. 48 countries. One trophy.
Football's finest international offering, World Cup, is all set, and it's a huge night.
The World Cup is here. Every pass, every tackle, every goal brings us closer to glory.
It's still bouncing inside the penalty area, and there's the first goal. Headed in by Enner Valencia. Less than 3 minutes.
Join the excitement on XL106.9 FM. The world's biggest football celebration is finally here.
It definitely counts this time. It is Enner Valencia for Ecuador, and the South Americans are in front. And now he does definitely have the most World Cup goals of any Ecuadorian.
Feel the passion. Celebrate the World Cup.
This is the Super Breakfast Show on XL106.9 FM.
Yeah, man. Yo, get them radios up.
The Super Breakfast Show.
Good morning, everybody.
And what a beautiful morning it is.
Let's get started, shall we?
Starting your day the right way.
With the XL Super Breakfast Show.
On XL 106.9 FM. Live from the heart of Uyo.
All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show.
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
Wake up!
Wake up!
It's a brand new day.
Let's go!
Are you ready?
Wake up! Wake up! It's a brand new day. Wake up! Wake up! Let's wake up! This is where the energy lives. Wake up!
Where the conversations matter.
Where the hits keep coming non-stop.
Welcome to the XL Super Breakfast Show.
Your morning start right here. Wake up! Wake up!
Let's go! Radio made with love.
xl1069fm,
Monsieur le Frau.
Good morning.
Every morning, over 100,000 Aquaban voices wake up to one question. One question. What is really happening in the state?
Section 2 of the 4th schedule of Nigeria's 1999 constitution as amended has, some mandate given to the local government councils to also participate in provision and maintenance of primary education. So, how have they fared?
Disciplinary action against all those people handle from the chairman of any local government. Go about the village head, work even the clan head and the whatever head local government. I applied.
We break down the politics behind the promises and measure the impact on real communities.
And then about the duty of the council chairman. Funds at the disposal of this council chairman for them to embark on such projects.
Do the council chairman know their responsibilities?
And do they even know their responsibilities?
Because if they know their responsibilities, first they will demand that they be given funds.
If you want to understand your day, start it here. This is the Super Breakfast Show on XL 106.9 FM. Arise and shine, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Good morning to you and welcome to a new week. Welcome to a new day and welcome to Monday. This morning has got me pondering on Henry Ford, American industrialist and a business magnate, who said sometime and some years ago that whether you think you can or you think you can't, you were right. Yeah, I like that quote because it reminds us that before anything happens around us, something is usually happening within us. It's a new week. I know that, just as you do. And if there is one thing I want to say to you this morning, it's this. Don't approach this new week expecting the worst. Yes, we know the economy is tough in the country right now. Yes, there are challenges. And yes, there are the things that you're still trying to figure out as a father, as a mother, as a young Nigerian, as a human being generally who lives somewhere in the west of Africa, south of Africa precisely, right? But don't let all those realities get to rob you of that positive outlook for this new week, the next 5 days, the next 6 days, because I've noticed, just as you might have too, right? There's something about life. People who expect nothing from a week like we're getting into, right? They rarely get much from that week. Yeah, I tell you that. So you wake up this morning, do your work, make the calls you need to make, send that proposal this morning. If you have to attend to meetings, please do that. Any opportunity you've got marked out, go ahead, chase them. And while you are doing all of that, carry that belief that something good can still happen. Please do that for yourself. The United States and Iran are saying that they reached a deal to end the Middle East war on all fronts, including Lebanon, and also pushing to reopen the vital Strait of Hormuz. But they've also offered a little indication on the thorny question of Tehran's nuclear program. Some would say it's just one of the new developments. Do we want to take it to face value? Well, that's left for your thought. But it doesn't take away the fact that it's one of the best stories or news we've had in a while from that particular direction. So that says something about you being optimistic about this new week, right? Go ahead, get the strides on. And let's see what happens if you don't give up this new week. This is the voice of the supreme character. I've got the development partner right here, Okodi. Good morning and welcome to a new week.
Good morning, IG. Good morning, Akwa Ibom. Good morning, Nigeria. It's a sad new week. The national mood is quite sad. I just hope that this sad mood in the nation would translate into action. It is sad that insecurity is staring us in the face, and slowly, it is getting to levels that we never expected. Earlier on, we used to bother about the distance it happens in the northeast. Later, we heard in the northwest. Later, we heard in the middle belt. Now it's just here. Over the weekend, we had the abduction of some people in Ondo State, in faraway Ondo State, or should I say faraway, or just here, Ondo State. And we have a former Chief of Army Staff in Nigeria is already cautioning that if we continue at this rate unchecked, our politicians, ministers, commissioners, and even governors may be the next target of insecurity. And I'm wondering, it's not strange, it's not new per se. We have the law in Nigeria that should check the excesses of these guys. The Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act exists sharply in Nigeria, and the law spells out carefully what should be done to people who are perceived to be allies of terrorists in Nigeria. But somehow we carefully avoid them. Section 22 of the Act clearly spells out at least 20 years of imprisonment on conviction of anyone who is arrested on charges bordering on terrorism, whether you are supporting, whether you are negotiating, whether you are pampering. But we pay deaf ears to it. And the allegations out there, some confirmed. I mean, we just heard a story over the weekend of some families of abductees in the nation's capital telling the police, look, you never rescued our people. We paid the required ransom for them to come back. And so there's a state arrangement for ransom payment. You do not negotiate with someone who you don't have an understanding with. You must have an understanding with anyone before you get to negotiating with that person, especially in issues that involves life, or the snifing, or the taking away of life. And so we are seeing a situation where it appears that the terrorism we are currently experiencing in Nigeria is being supported by the state. It is being supported by the actors, the state actors, and it's very despicable. We are talking about Ondo State. If you calculate the distance between Ondo and here, the other day was Oyo State. It's just quite close. All right. So the national mood is dumpy. The Christian Association of Nigeria declared yesterday Black Sunday. It started since June 12, Democracy Day, 3 days of mourning, culminated yesterday in Black Sunday. And you saw the message, by the CAN president. It's very, very despicable. And we have a president who only issues statements and issues condolences and messages of hope when we don't see the hope. We have the law. How come the law is not implemented? How come we are giving windows? The president said he's giving a window for terrorists and their sponsors to repent. When they repent after killing Nigerians, drinking the blood of Nigerians, they get repented and they get pushed back into the society. The other day we saw 750 of them reintegrated into the society. On the records, it's about 13,000 terrorists that have been neutralized. And on the other hand, terrorists that have repented, about 134,000. How do you marry that? How do you juxtapose that? A country that is serious, with insecurity, serious with beating the challenge of insecurity. You are reintegrating people, more terrorists, 134,000. You are getting them repented, forgiving them, pardoning them after killing Nigerians, after wasting the lives of Nigerians, after killing children and women, the very people that the state exists to protect. You are pardoning them and reintegrating them into the society. But the people that the army exists for, to neutralize these bad guys, only 13,000 on record. And we have stories of the army soldiers getting one-on-one, face-to-face with these guys, and at the point of neutralizing, doing the job that the army is supposed to do, they are given order from above to stand down on those people. Over the weekend, a retired army general was again murdered. General Rabe would make it the third army general that was murdered. The army, the Katsina state government is saying that he died from medical complications, which the son of that man has come up to say there is no history. I don't know, we are playing politics with the lives of people, and down here in Akwa Ibom State, it doesn't even seem like it is a national concern. By this time, we should be more serious with it. Oh, perhaps it is Aso Rock. We believe that the president is staying in a rock, and the rock cannot be. But I like it. That is the former chief of army staff, is not Okodi that is saying it. A former chief of army staff that has been in the theater, that is now serving Nigeria as an ambassador. He is the one that is raising the alarm that soon enough, very, very soon enough, politicians, ministers, and even state governors. And I believe that in his heart of hearts, he probably will be saying even the president will be the next target if it continues at this rate unchecked. It is the gravest sin to a nation. Do you know what it means for a general to be captured and murdered? 2 murdered in active service, this one retired. It is despicable, and if we continue at this rate, somehow it will reach all of us. But I pray that the mourning, the prayers that Khan interceded over the weekend, culminating yesterday in the Black Sunday, would be enough, for the necessary intervention, perhaps divine interventions like we pray for, to be visited on Nigeria.
Well, indeed, pretty much the mood in the nation right now as we talk security concerns right here. And for some reason, it's had a handful of us have to go back to that particular framework, the Operation Safe Corridor framework, which the president also made reference to during his Democracy Day address. It's one of the frameworks we cannot discuss insecurity in the country and leave out, exactly because it's one of the most controversial security policies here in the country, implemented since the Boko Haram began right here. And the debate is quite simple. Can Nigeria defeat terrorism only with bullets and bombs, or must it also create a pathway for surrendered fighters to return to the society. And I just anchor this one right here. So we proceed. That was the central question behind Operation Safe Corridor. However, one of the critical components of this framework, or how it was established to work, was to follow some stages. The first stage being surrender, where an insurgent voluntarily surrenders to security forces. So maybe we want to go back and asking that question. The people that we get to reintegrate into the societies today, did they go through the first step? Or they were just accosted, arrested, and deemed to have surrendered? That's a conversation for another day.
We'll talk about it just a little bit. Just like we mentioned the other day that there's a big difference between release and rescue of victims. It's the same thing that plays out now. When you rescue, it means that you subdued the enemy and you took away what the enemy possesses, which is yours. When you release, you don't have the powers to release a captive. The enemy releases the captive, which means you must have had some understanding with the enemy for that release to happen. So you're telling the enemy, do this and I'll do this, or do this for now, then later you can do the other one. Some concessions. You must have lost some grounds to get the enemy to release. Or maybe the enemies just believe that, oh, these guys are still human, so let's release them out of the compassion, in their hearts. When we now say, can a terrorist willingly surrender? I beg to differ. We have had a story of some people who were recruited, who said they were recruited into the terrorist organization, to terrorism, just because of the infidelity of members of our security agencies who use power to dominate the poor in the north. And so some of them said, okay, because these guys have treated us badly, we join the terrorists to fight them. And these are some of the reasons why you hear that the first point of attack are the security post. They go to attack the army because they suffered in their hands. I'm not saying this is exclusive. Poverty also drives that, and the fact that we have ungoverned spaces, the successive administrations of Nigeria have failed to live up to the bidding. These are the things that push, some of the reasons that push, apart from religion, obviously, that push some of these guys into joining terrorism. Now, when you now get in there, just like joining a society, you had to agree to the terms and conditions of XLFM to be here, all of us, right? When you now get in there, you are given terms and conditions, you abide by it. If there's a paper, you sign on the dotted lines. You are acculturated, you are indoctrinated, you are given oaths to swear. And guess what? We've seen in movies where children are being abducted and recruited and they are made to become like them. You do not remain the same. It is by the mercies of God that you get to come out of there alive and still have your senses intact and still have your humanity intact. Now, when you say that terrorists willingly, for God's sake, we've heard stories that it is interesting. You have a gun in your palm. You want to fire it. You fire one and you never go back. When you take a life, you never go back to being normal because that innocent blood haunts you. So it is disturbing to realize that a terrorist, after drinking the amount of blood that we hear, will now say, okay, I'm tired of drinking blood. I want to surrender. No, No. They have no reason to surrender to you. Let them surrender to their maker. And that's where we come back to calling for that order. Buhari had gave that order. Late President Buhari gave that order one time when the pressure was too high. He said, shoot at sight. Did we shoot at sight? Perhaps we should get back there. The president said we can abuse him, we can criticize him, but we should not lose faith in him. We still have faith. I still have faith in Mr. President.
In the country.
I believe he is one of the boldest, politicians that stepped up to leadership in 2023. And he is not holding that office today by chance. I believe that it's for a purpose and for the very fact that he's bold enough to take hard decisions. Let us take the hardest decision that would help Nigeria return to one of the safest places on earth for humans' lives to live and for investors to come to.
The criticisms continue just along that path with questions like, what about the victims? Is there justice? After all that has been said and done, many Nigerians still get to struggle with the idea that a young man who joined Boko Haram may receive counseling, may receive training. Meanwhile, the innocent citizens receive little assistance. So that sort of creates a perception of injustice. But, talking about the hard decisions, the local tabloids have got some of the headlines that made the rounds right here in Akwa Ibom State. And one of them reads, on the Sensor newspaper, Akwa Ibom restates zero tolerance for illegal motorcycles in Uyo metropolis. The Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Anthony Lick, came forth to say that that ban remains fully in force and has never been lifted. While we know that there are some health, essential service providers, the likes of health workers and other critical duty personnel, like the courier services in the state, who have got permits that are reserved for them, that ban is still in force in Akwa Ibom State, and any motorcycle or tricycle apprehended within prohibited zones in Akwa Ibom State, in Uyo precisely, the metropolis, will be impounded and prosecuted at the mobile court. By the way, that court is empowered to impose substantial fines and authorize forfeiture in line with state regulations right here. So one thing to note as you go about your hustle this new week, that the motorcycle ban is still on. And the state government has restated its zero tolerance for illegal motorcycles in Uyo metropolis. If you are not among those who are offering essential services like the government has stated, then you have to reconsider your choices this new week. It's been one conversation subject to a handful of criticisms and others, but for some time now, and it's been going on in the state. What the government has done is to restate that is still in motion.
Absolutely.
We'll take a breather, and when we come back, we'll get your thought on that, Okodi. Akwa Ibom, stay with us.
106.9 powered to XL.
So, Emanuela, have been thinking, this paint in your house still looks brand new. What's the secret?
It's Dana's paint. I applied it 4 years ago and it still looks vibrant. They even guaranteed 5 to 7 years of brilliance.
Wow, that's impressive. But I bet it's expensive.
Not at all. Stainless paint is surprisingly budget-friendly with prices starting from just 25,000 naira. Plus, it has incredible coverage. You would use even fewer buckets than expected to achieve a premium finish.
So you're saying it saves me money on both paint and maintenance?
Exactly. Stainless paint is high quality and affordable with an anti-fungal treatment for molds. Just call 0803-358-9299 or visit the showroom at number 254 Oron Road beside Amber Lounge by the 2 lanes traffic light, Uyo.
Stainers Paint, elevating your walls with global excellence.
Stainers Paint, elevating your walls with global excellence.
Guy, we don't dey talk since so. Ha, make I go do my work, eh? We go continue this talk later.
Oh boy, you don't talk. Haba, you know the tire.
Now the new level be that too. This new MTN sachet bundle don't make life easy for me.
Brotherly, involve me now. Make myself they follow ya like you. Talk until you tire. When you dey on top the new MTN sachet bundles, dial *312*7# and press 2 to start to enjoy from 100 naira. Load am, talk they go.
The world has moved from celebration of certificates to impact and ideas. At Danny Joy International Schools, we are determined to raise critical thinkers, world leaders, and change agents. We are equipped with leading-edge facilities with determination to nurture a total child in an environment where a child is free to grow and explore with our advanced chemistry, biology, physics, ICT hub, music hub, sporting facilities, and much more. Admission is ongoing for boarding secondary students. We are located along Waniba Road after Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort, Ifyayong, Uruan, Akwa Ibom State. For more inquiries, call 0810-364-9178 or 0808-824-8176. Danny Joy International Schools. Honesty in learning is our legacy.
Royal Line Technologies. People wey sabi say phone where Royal Line no get does not exist. Them sabi say before they get phone problem, Royal Line Technologies Limited don't already get solution for them. Royal Line Technologies Limited, we don't almost old like GSM technology for Nigeria. They get grace to make communication easy for country people. They don't stock every kind phone and accessories, and their price is correct well. And even if your money no complete, Royal Line Technologies get easy buy. We go allow you drop small money, carry phone go house, pay small till you pay finish. Every phone where Royal Line they sell get warranty. If you buy phone carry go house and small time the phone begin behave like say in brain get knocking sound, Royal Line go repair and give you or give you brand new phone for free. No use your money take do tumbo for phone and accessory matter. Take waka enter any Royal Line shop where you sabi, and any phone and accessories where you find, you go see them for there, or you call them for 0701 0007 373. Royal Line is good all the time.
Madam, please move this car.
My steering is stiff. I think my oil is bad.
What? Haven't you heard of Ibeto Lubricants and Engine Oil?
Ibeto Lubricants?
Ibeto Petrochemical Industries Limited, a member of the Ibeto Group, experts in blending, marketing, and sale of top quality lubricants and engine oil. The company is ISO certified. The products are Espresso Super Turbo 0W40, Espresso Super Ultra 5W30 for brand new engines, Espresso Super Plus 15W40, and Espresso Super 20W50 for petrol engines, Beta Super Plus 15W40 for diesel engine, automotive gear oil, industrial gear oil, marine engine oil, hydraulic oil, compressor oil, ATF, and two-stroke engine oils, and lots more.
All their products are MANCAP certified.
Ibeto engine oil and lubricants are dependable to the last drop. Keep your engine in good shape. Insist on Ibeto oil and lubricants.
Because it's good for stronger health. What do you need? Amatem, fast relief. If malaria disturb you with Amatem, no issue. Oh, only the best. Oh, Amatem soft gel. Fight malaria, no stress. Oh, Amatem soft gel.
When malaria show, no time to talk. Amatem soft gel na the odogu. Only the best.
Yeah, what you gonna do now?
This is
Super Radio. Super Radio.
106.9 XL FM.
Live from the heart of Uyo.
All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
We're bringing you mornings like you've never heard.
More music, more news, more entertainment, and more fun. Weekdays from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m.
The XL Super Breakfast Show.
The XL Super Breakfast Show.
Only on XL 106.9 FM.
Good morning, everybody.
And what a beautiful morning it is.
Let's get started, shall we?
Let's just take a tour to your community and explore every route.
who come is being affected
On behalf of the village head of Nkorika,
from about the Pepsi.
It already comprehensive high school.
Let us help present your request to the right authorities.
Primary school.
All the way from Fort to Youngson down to Akbaden, the road is not good. We suffer a lot, and if you enter bike, the bike will charge.
Join Community Report Mondays through Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Community Report, exclusive to XL1069 FM.
Welcome back, Akuaibem State. Thank you very much for staying with us. Super Breakfast Show here, IG and Okodi. We've been looking at some headlines on the papers this morning. And before that breather, we were talking about the state government and the recent restatement of the fact that the ban on illegal motorcycle operations in Uyo is still on. And a call to transporters to not fall victim in that case. And of course, they went ahead, courtesy the Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Anthony Lick, to state that the likes of Barracks Road, the major trunk roads, the entire Uyo metropolis are areas, that even if you must get to that area, you must either be an essential worker. You've got special permits that are issued by the Ministry of Transport. Then you can say that you are exempted, right? That is where we are this morning. Cody, seems you have some thought to share on that particular one.
Yeah, I want to take us back to 2011, when the law the ban was promulgated in the first place. It wasn't for just convenience. It was to checkmate the rising cases of armed robbery at the time, kidnapping, and other crimes that bedeviled Uyo as a city. So that law, that ban, came into effect then, and it's been there for a while. You recall that prior to 2011, prior to that ban, we had bikes have a field day in Uyo, and then after that ban, tricycles, which we call popularly keke na pep, they replaced motorcycles as the commonest. Back then, you could see bikes just, run on 4 lanes as important a road as 4 lanes. But now it is the tricycles that took over. The essence was for security, 1, 2, and to improve the aesthetics of the city at the time, but primarily for security. Although you still see bikes running in parts of Uyo metropolis, sometimes on street corners they don't come out on the road. Like if you go down Kaitinan, you see bikes, that's still Uyo metropolis. If you go down Oron Road by Airport Road, you still see bikes running, and that's still Uyo metropolis. By the way, a major gateway into the state, so bikes are still running, and time and again the motorcycle operators have had this run-in with the law when the enforcement team approaches them. But the fact is that ban is still in force. In 2023, the Commissioner for Security, Internal Security and Waterways, Koko Essien, had sounded that warning that ban is still in force. It has never been lifted for private and commercial motorcycles within Uyo metropolis. And so the Commissioner for Transport reiterating it is good, to keep the operators on alert that nothing has changed. It is to ensure security of the city center and also ensure that the eyesore that comes with a cluster of motorcycles on this in the city center is being removed.
Well, we have a lot more on the papers this morning. We'll get to them, but you can join the conversation right now. 0700 That is 0700 1069 or 0809 1069. You can also send a voice note or a text to WhatsApp at 0809 333 1069. That is 0809 333 1069. On Facebook, we're live right now at xl1069.fm. That is xl1069.fm. So go ahead, leave your comments right under that live feed. Let's get to know which headline are you talking about and what is happening in your community this morning. Please keep it civil and short. Thank you. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, my brother.
Welcome. What's your name?
What is happening
What's your name?
in our generation, starting from our community? My name is Akemi Niboma, so forever.
All right.
Yeah, people are suffering. I believe you are aware. People are suffering in the midst of plenty. That is what is happening in our communities. And then few people in government houses are celebrating. Should this continue? No. The problem is contributory. Many of us are involved. It's the will of God that His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But it is done. Now, the present governor of Akwa Ibom mentioned about happy hour. Let the happy hour begin. Has it begun? Now, there are some people who are even blocking that not to happen. So a few of them may feel they are on top. Should that continue? That is not the will of God. So, and again, he mentioned that he came in as a pastor and he want to live as a pastor. What does that mean? It means the time has come for all of us to take our place as God's own people, not because we go to church or we carry Bible, but because God created us in His own image. But are we carrying God's image again? When you spend few times in the university, you say you're a professional. But that's what you are studying, your course of study, you don't even know up to 10% of that course. You are given a certificate. Should we continue bragging and so braggadocious, and people are suffering in the midst of millions of people are suffering? Please, let us return back. That's what Arise is all about. That's what Dakada is all about. If the prodigal son bring Dakada back to the father, he would have died a pauper.
All right.
But the moment he arose and God received him and celebrated him, let me tell us, the moment we arrive and back to our God, not carrying Bible, not being title carriers. Now what we have is people say they are church people, they carry title, they don't carry the power of God. They don't carry the image of God. That's why they cause even the witches and wizards to say they also call on the name of Jesus and say they are God's people. Enough is enough of that nonsense until the people repent.
All right. You have to watch your choice of words regardless. We appreciate your opinion. All right. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Robert and I'm calling from Isherekam in Iran.
All right. Go on.
This IG or Okudi, I'm very, very sorry. I'm really disappointed in this our country nowadays. I'm not talking about the old days, so I'm talking about now. If I want to talk about the old days, I can talk about 70s, 80s, even early 90s. This our country we're not in this condition. But today's condition is very, very bad. Even it's very, very tyrannical because we have happy tyrannic people on earth as the leaders. And they are not leaders, they are rulers. Even good rulers are better than what we had now in this country. Just look at bandits to be boldly killed a major general. Arrested a major general with his wife and killed the husband. Get power to put that man in a coffin. Went to Katina said, I return the corpse there. Nobody tells them. You see that? So what that this country now is ruling by the banditry or hold on, what can they call Boko Haram. So we don't have anybody on top. That I'm tired so that. But I beg God, who will visited the children of Israel after 430 years in land of Egypt. That same God of yesterday is God of today.
All right.
And tomorrow will come to visit us. Thank you for having us, Reverend Nazareth.
Thank you. That same God, he says, will see us through. Thank you, though. Good morning to you.
Hello, the Guru. Good morning.
Welcome. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Basi, calling from Infa. Yeah.
Welcome, Basi. Go on.
First in the line is that I want to call on the government to come and look at the Saikori down road. Is that pure that you cannot even use anything to describe it? 1, 2. Nigeria has come to the point that we don't even know where we are at the moment. Can you imagine that since 2024 that the federal government put an advertisement for employment and schedule for CBT test up till this day? Those things have not been done. What kind of a country are we live on? It's very sympathetic and very unfortunate. Now, Ada Ashomole draw our attention to the Senate that 210 trillion naira has been missing from the NNPC cover. Up till today, no federal government has ever, even a minister for petroleum or whatever, come and explain to Nigeria how come. And we are going to a foreign country to borrow with this kind of situation. What kind of a country? Imagine a major general in army. Died and brought to the country and to the state without anything happen.
Okay.
Are we secured in 2027 general election? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your thoughts. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome. What's your name? Kaiser.
That's the thing I can go. Again, I'm 1:2000. And I can go to come. The free because they took a giant election. And I'm not the name is getting good in them. Nigeria, you. GD, what I do you. I was young for.
All right. Get back with us if you can. Good morning.
Good morning, IG and Okodi. My name is Guni Sokono, known as the Tigers Global. And my own concern on today's headlines is about you talk about bike driving in New York, especially in the main city, in the major road. Because in the street, like inside the street, they are permitted to drive, but in the major road. But IG, this is a country and this is a state that the government will keep rules and they will be the one to violate the rules. For example, you see government official coming to travel light and they will blow on siren and pass. So if another person pass now, they will arrest that person. You see the traffic worthy officer will come and arrest that person. Is that right?
You're not blowing siren now.
Get back with us.
80 guys, are you blowing siren?
I'd rather say not. What to say? I'm here. Forget it here.
I just want you to try from Bam and again down no, it's a street like who's on the walk, get your walk when you street like John. Again, if I can give you any one your one down me and never, if you are not a street that I didn't can. Nó cần lại tại này con à bà cái áo sờ đấy đi chuẩn bị cho nó bọc thế rồi cái lần mà đang còn có bạn chơi nhiều cái dùng là cái cái con các bạn chơi gì cũng bọc để coi đây là cái này cũng phải nói tôi đây là cái chơi con này tôi là bọc bên chơi này cho để áo em bạn.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure the leaders in Ibiono have had that too. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, IG.
Yeah. What's your name?
Good morning, Okori.
Good morning.
Hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you. You're welcome.
Hello?
Oh, my. Kindly get back with us, huh? Good morning.
I'm going to
all right. I'm ready.
If you look at the bill now, you have to pay the how to
okay. Thank you. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. IG.
Yes, so I can hear you. Go on. What is going on? Amesire. Let's get the next one. Good morning to you. Yes, I forget it.
My name is Reverend Nazaret. I'm calling from Shebegam in Iran.
Welcome.
Please, you guys permit me to use our local dialect.
Go on.
What I want to say is that I'm by them can quite mommy. The federal government are quite bomb. I came on them guy federal take it depend community more. I can depend that one to some frame. Government are quite bomb. You pay with Sana in Maria. But what we hear are pretty endorse Tunimu, endorse Ababio, endorse at the governor for the second term. But who went up? Can I maintain the woman? Guys, some of them couldn't get newspaper that the government is all what are they calling themselves? Edo. Kakatina State, Major General and his wife, would have been any boldness, SMK, Yahan of Coffin on Kakatina State, Ebo. Are we can come quite out? Is that how we still continue in sin? So the grace of God may about, so the peace will come. But I beg God of the olden days, who were visited the children of Israel in the land of Egypt, that same God of yesterday, today, and forever will come and save us from this land,
Amen.
From the hands of the wicked. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for your words of prayer this morning, Reverend Nazareth. Okay, you get back with us if you can. Good morning.
Good morning, Good
morning.
And IG.
You're welcome. What's your name?
From Uyonkonto Backward. I can get a pair backward in enemy at the other church. Madam Tangisan Gombo Yamu from Fidelity Bank down to the Kota of That's number one. Then number two. If we check on any road close to you, I can get from 7 o'clock, police. I'm checking from 7 o'clock in the evening. Police said I'm checking. But the mama mia from 10:30, 11 to make any what to tell you. Police ya police and I'm going to get boy move phone and head of shop no word. I'm going to the shop. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to the fore too. Okay, let's get this one on WhatsApp.
Good morning, I do. Something. You really don't confess for Nigerian, but now you want the mobile and more company the provide our super film on our Seporia. And I'm therefore, and you want to go for it for me again because of free TFL. Every sector of the country as well. Imagine our own the Senate President, Chief Gospel Barabi, celebrating, give me a number 3 man the seat. But he, I am telling you, is not of any use. I am telling you, is not of any use to the state, to the country at large. Okay, Oshomo Lere is stopping. Now, NNPC, area to the tune of 210 million. He sat there as the presiding officer to sweep that thing under the carpet. That is one of the major aspects of this country in terms of fuel and other social amenities. So, there's no need now.
Okay, we will get NMPCL, get that yak board. It is unaccounted for. That's the English language in there. Good morning. Get back with us if you can. On Facebook this morning, Mrs. Olibaris here says we need to rise up as opposition and say enough is enough. We pray for the right persons to lead, not to rule, to give, not to take away, moral compass, not rudderlessness, captains, installing those who deserve our loyalty and leadership, not those that demand our dealership and lordship. Men and women who stand tall on moral foundation, who march on gold in search of honor, with service and heart of love for us, and leaders with fear of God. We must get it right in 2027. Can we agree less? Pray tell. We'll take a breather at Kwabum State. When we come back, we'll take the last ride on the conversation this morning. Please stay with us.
106.9 powered to XL.
Pass me the ball, Joe. See, now who the lip come so?
Now Harry, hey, oh boy, which time begin limp with walking stick now?
Now muscle like dry pains. Since that yesterday game, he come be like say the time I muscle to my bones.
Harry, now so you come the use stick waka like papa. You never hear of Vilicin Balm?
Vilicin Balm na brand of methyl salicylate and menthol crystal. We will give you effective and soothing relief from body pain, aches, lumbago and rheumatism. Whether na for work or play, Vilicin na effective soothing balm for old and young people them.
Harry, my man. Now you the dribble like this? Why you walking stick now?
Vilicin Balm, rub am for cold, catarrh, aches and pains. Vilicin Balm na daily need industries dey make am. If you no better after 3 days, abeg go see your doctor o.
Guy, we don dey talk since o. Make I go do my work, we go continue this talk later.
Oh boy, you don talk. Haba, you no dey tire.
Na the new level be that o. This new MTN sachet bundle don make life easy for me.
Brotherly, involve me na. Make me sef dey follow ya like you. Talk until you tire. When you dey on top the new MTN sachet bundles, dial *312*7# and press 2 to start to enjoy from 100 naira. Load am, talk dey go.
Royal Line Technologies. People wey sabi say phone wey Royal Line no get does not exist. Dem sabi say before they get phone problem, Royal Line Technologies Limited don already get solution for them. Royal Line Technologies Limited, wey don almost old like GSM technology for Nigeria, dem get grace to make communication easy for country people. Dem don stock every kind phone and accessories, and their price e correct well. And even if your money no complete, Royal Line Technologies get easy buy, wey go allow you drop small money, carry phone go house, pay small till you pay finish. Every phone wey Royal Line dey sell get warranty. If you buy phone carry go house and small time the phone begin behave like say im brain get knocking sound, Royal Line go repair and give you brand new phone for free. No use your money take do tumbo for phone and accessory matter. Take waka enter any Royal Line shop where you sabi, and any phone and accessories where you dey find, you go see am for there, or you call them for 0701 0007 373. Royal Line is good all the time.
Because it's good for stronger health. What do you need? Amatem, fast relief. If malaria disturb you with Amatem, no issue. Oh, only the best. Oh, Amatem subject. Fight malaria, no stress. Oh, Amatem subject.
When malaria show, no time to talk. Amatem soft gel na the odogu. Only the best.
Oh, I don't tire for this my television. No better picture, no better sound at all.
My brother, follow who no rodo. Nigeria don't go digital with free TV. You get over 100 channels. And see, you no go pay every month.
But I go need new box, abi?
No, now. Use any free-to-air decoder or download the free TV mobile app for your phone. Just point your dish to Night Concert and enjoy. No be so I tell you.
Digital.
Now, National Broadcasting Commission bring on this message.
No let them leave you for back. Switch to digital now. Free TV, better TV, no monthly wahala.
Live from the heart of Uyo.
All right, let's hear it. This is the Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
Good morning, everybody.
And what a beautiful morning it is.
Let's get started, shall we?
Starting your day the right way.
With the XL Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! This is it!
Waking you up every morning.
This is the XL Super Breakfast Show.
Only on XL 106.9 FM.
For the first time in history, 48 nations will battle for football's top prize at the biggest sporting event on the planet. The 2026 FIFA World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Get ready for the excitement in World Cup X-Ray, your daily destination. For match reviews, expert analysis, breaking news, fan reactions, and everything from the world's biggest football spectacle on XL 106.9 FM. Mondays, 2 p.m. Tuesdays to Thursdays, 5:15 p.m. Fridays, 12 p.m. And Saturdays, 4 p.m. Join us as we bring the passion, drama, and unforgettable moments of the FIFA World Cup straight to your home. For partnership and sponsorship, call Wheels on 0701 808 1818. 0701 808 1818. World Cup X-Ray. One world, one tournament, one fiesta. Exclusive to XL 106.9 FM.
Wake up! Wake up! It's a new day! Let's go!
Ooh, yo. Are you ready?
Wake up! It's a brand new day! Wake up! Wake up! This is where the energy lives. Wake up!
Where the conversations matter.
Where the hits keep coming non-stop.
Welcome to the XL Super Breakfast Show.
Your morning start right here. Wake up! Wake up!
Let's go! Radio made with love.
You are,
There's a paradise they couldn't capture. That bright infinity inside your eyes. 매일 밤 내게 날아가 꿈이란 것도 잊은 채 난 웃으며 너를 만나. Never ending forever, baby. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first. You are my universe, and you make my whole light up inside. 어둠이 내게 더 변했었지. 길어진 그림자 속에서. And they said that we can't be together because we come from different sides. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first. You are my universe, and you make my whole light up inside. My universe, my universe. My universe. 나를 밝혀주는 건 너란 사랑으로 수놓아진 별. 내 우주에 넌 또 다른 세상을 만들어주는 girl. 너는 내 별이자 나의 호주니까 지금의 시련도 결국엔 잠시니까. 너는 언제까지나 지금처럼 밝게만 빛나줘. 우리는 너를 따라 이긴 밤을 수놓아. 너와 함께 날아가. When I'm without you I'm crazy. 자 어서 내 손을 잡아. We are made of each other, baby. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first.
Live from the heart of Uyo. All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
Wake up! Wake up! It's a brand new day. Let's go!
Ooh, yo.
Are you ready? Wake up! It's a brand new day. Wake up! Wake up! This is where the energy lives. Wake up!
Where the conversations matter.
Where the hits keep coming non-stop.
Welcome to the XL Super Breakfast Show.
Your morning start right here. Wake up! Wake up!
Let's go! Radio made with love.
The President, University of Uyo Alumni Association, Ekerete Adiairuo, cordially invites alumni, students, friends, and the entire university community to the launch of the 1,000 tree planting campaign. This event is part of activities marking the first anniversary of the 6th executive of the University of Uyo Alumni Association. Date: Tuesday the 16th of June 2026. Time: 8:30 a.m. shortly before the inauguration of the university's Vice Chancellor. Venue: University of Uyo Main Campus, Ngwangiba Road, Uyo. Tree planting will be performed by the substantive Vice Chancellor, Professor Chris Ekang. Guest of honor, Chairman Governing Council, University of Uyo. Join us as we take action for a greener campus and healthier environment. Your presence will make a difference. Let's plant the future together. This message is from the Publicity Secretariat, University of Uyo Alumni Association.
xl1069fm,
Monsieur le Frau.
Good morning.
Every morning, over 100,000 Akwa Ibom voices wake up to one question. One question. what is really happening in the state.
Section 2 of the 4th schedule of Nigeria's 1999 constitution as amended has, some mandate given to the local government councils to also participate in provision and maintenance of primary education. So, how have they fared?
Disciplinary action against all those people handle from the chairman of any local government. Go about the village head, work even the clan head and the whatever head local government. I applied.
We break down the politics behind the promises and measure the impact on real communities.
And then about the duty of the council chairman. Funds the funds at the disposal of this council chairman for them to embark on such projects.
Do the council chairman know their responsibilities?
And do they even know their responsibilities?
Because if they know their responsibilities, first they will demand that they be given funds.
If you want to understand your day, start it here. This is the Super Breakfast Show on XL 106.9 FM.
Principal officer of the Senate, Senator Wabui, he seated there. I am not the mover of the motion to issue bench warrant. I notice that it is only my name that is put here. And I think I do understand why it is what I said that is singled out. Number two, I hold the view and I've done my best to defend our collective image. And I am shocked that the House leader referred to my reactions and not what I was reacting to. Could I just be walking on the street? For many of you know me, I have never been a guest for psychiatric evaluation. We sat there on your orders to invite the NNPC to explain the numbers that amounts to about 210 trillion naira. And he had been invited over and over and over, about 9 times, as enumerated by distinguished Senator Wabui, a principal officer of this House. And in all these 9 invitations, Melekeri, former group managing director, refused to show up. And the guy who spoke yesterday, the former chief financial officer, he was invited to explain the audit. I think it's an opportunity, Mr. President, to remind us that what you ask us to do in accordance with the provisions of the Nigeria Constitution is that NNPC auditors, not Senate auditors, NNPC approved auditors submitted a report that shows that they have not accounted for 210 trillion naira. I use the word accounted for. This is not my findings. They transferred this report to the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation in accordance with the extra provisions of the Nigeria Constitution. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation referred this to the Public Accounts Committee between the previous chairman and the current chairman. These people have been invited several times and we did not have the benefit of seeing them. So yes.
And that's the voice of the former Edo State Governor and Senator Adams Oshomole defending that probe of the audited account of Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. And he insists that that he was well within his rights, while he went ahead to acknowledge, that to an extent, out of provocation, he might have, said a handful. Bottom line, there's been a lot of conversation and reaction from the senator as to how his colleagues attended to that concern. We recall that after that arrest warrant, right, that committee put out for Melekari, the next day at plenary, the Senate upturned that particular decision and distanced itself from that particular decision of that committee You could hear Senator Adams Oshomole saying, look, we are not there on our right, on our powers precisely, but on the authority that you, the Senate President, gave to us, right, to operate or to function in that committee. We were just doing our duties. Many say, to a larger extent, that some of his colleagues left him under the bus. But he also has said that a vast majority of his colleagues at the Senate were with him. About 80% of them, he says, were with him on how he approached that concern. Right? It was a handful that went down last week. And before we get into the conversation this morning, we just thought to get a quick reaction to this one. We're being joined by a constitutional lawyer this morning. Theodore Williams is a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us, Esquire. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, let's get straight to it. Adams Oshomole, you know him to be one vocal senator. And some say maybe he bit, a little bit more than he could chew this time around. Do you agree?
Well, I do not agree that that he bit more than what he could chew, because what has Adams Oshomole actually said? That he's not, that is outside the law. What has he said? That is abusive, or that he has abused his senatorial privilege. He hasn't said anything that he has abused his privilege. Now, Adams Oshomole, if you look at his antecedents, he's a seasoned activist, a labor leader par excellence. I mean, we remember his days as the national president of the NLC in this country, and he was in the forefront of the fair price fight with Obasanjo. And I am happy that having joined politics, it hasn't killed that stink in him, that survival instinct, this instinct to speak for the good of the people. What has Adams Oshomole said? He has said that the NNPCL had an independent auditor audit their account, and that the independent auditor found the NNPCL to be wanting to the tune of 210 trillion naira. And I think that everybody in the Nigerian Senate, if they swore the oath of allegiance and swore to defend the constitution of Nigeria, which is for the good governance of Nigeria, should be standing right behind Adams to ask that question as to how did we come to a point between 2017 to 2023 that we are that we have 210 trillion naira unaccounted for. Now, they are using the word unaccounted for because they are trying to be civil. They're trying to manipulate and play on the intelligence of Nigerians.
Or because the court has not necessarily
No.
said
Leave
so.
the issue of the court, because we haven't even gotten to the point where we get to court yet.
Good.
But the issue now is, where is 210 trillion naira? If that money is supposed to be in the federation account, and it is not there, who has it? And what is the purpose of that money for the benefit of the Nigerian people? And if you look at the definition of stealing, clearly, let's leave the semantics of unaccounted for. If you look at the criminal code of Nigeria, the definition of stealing is the intention to deprive somebody of the use of his or her property without the consent, with the intention to permanently deprive them of the benefit of what is the benefit of that money to the Nigerian people. What would have been the benefit of that money to the Nigerian nation? Maybe we would have used part of that money to fight terrorism and insurgency. Maybe we would have used part of that money to provide electricity supply to Nigerians. Maybe part of that money. Do you know that amount of money is more than the national budget? Are you kidding me? In a country that has that amount of money has been stolen, and yet we are still surviving.
Well, an ex-chief finance officer who was there did say that no money is missing.
Are they questioning now? Listen, if they say no money is missing, what steps did they take to challenge the report of the auditor? What steps? Because from what Adams has said, this was done by an independent auditor and sent to the Auditor General's office, who now forwarded to the Accountant General of the Federation, who sent the report to the committee. So Are you saying that all of these processes, nobody could spot that this was an error until Adams Oshimele brought it up at the floor of the Senate? It became an error. You know, I am not a fan of the leadership of the present Senate.
Why so?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the because the leadership of the present Senate seems to be compromised in the sense that when you see grandparents stand up and sing on your mandate, we shall stand, and the person who led them is the leader of that Senate.
Oh, they have the freedom to associate, don't they?
They have a freedom to associate. But we, the people of Nigeria, did not send them to stand on the mandate of the president. The Senate is supposed to be the head of the legislature, is supposed to be the check and balance of the exco.
Do you think that's why that particular move or call for arrest was overturned?
It leaves a lot. It leaves a lot to It leaves a lot to speculation, because at the end of the day, I mean, if the Senate did issue an arrest warrant, which by law they have the powers to do so, now what would be the reason for which that warrant has been overturned? Now, if a court issues a warrant for an arrest, one and only reason why that warrant will be overturned is the person shows up in person and says, "My lord, the Lord, I'm here." Okay, the court will strike out the warrant. But in this case, Malik Karaye has not showed up in person. Okay, and he hasn't. There is nothing to show that he intends to show up, because from what Adams Oshimole said, they have been invited 9 times, and they flaunted the order or the invitation of the Nigerian Senate 9 times. This Senate has made itself a laughing stock.
Now, the other part of the conversation is where the Senate distances itself from the comments made by Senator Oshomole, where he said that, he described the NNPC as a bunch of criminals and thieves. That's been the reputation they've put across over time. Where is your stand on that particular move? 1, by the Senate, and 2, the statement by Senator Adams Oshomole?
The statement of Adams Oshimole is clearly an outburst from emotional cries. I mean, it's an emotional outburst, and it is born out of patriotism. It's born out of the zeal, to serve the country, and it is born out of the disgust that amount of money could be stolen or could be missing in a Nigerian corporation, where there is supposed to be a structure of investigation, and monitoring, because the Senate has made a lot of laws. I mean, procurement laws, TSA laws, and all of that. And then, in spite of all of this effort, this amount of money has gone unaccounted for. Like, let me borrow their language. So it is enough to make any man go crazy. I mean, at that point, his emotions got over him, and his sense of patriotism got over him, and all of that. At the end of the day, it does not excuse the fact that what he said he was speaking in the interest of the Nigerian people and for the good of the Nigerian, and within the confines of the law. Now, he may not have had the right to say they were criminals because we haven't had a court, but let me tell you this, everything is all about antecedent. This same NNPCL has had the long-standing antecedent of always having monies not accounted for several times. We've had several GMDs of NNPCL never accounting for monies. Sometimes we've had one of them, their house was bust in Kaduna, Abuja. Yeah. We saw $9 million in somebody's private safe. Do you understand?
Chilling in AC.
Yeah, so you don't blame Adams Oshimole when he gets to that point. Now the Senate, the action of the Nigerian Senate, it is a shame, like I've said, and I stand by it, that the leadership of this Senate has really betrayed the Nigerian people. Because if the leadership of the Senate was working in the interest of the Nigerian people and for the Nigerian state, it would not, for any reason, scold Adams Oshimole for taking that position. They would have said, okay, Mr. Senator, you stepped out of the line because of emotional outbursts. We understand that. But the issue is that the points you are making is fundamental.
So
it's crucial.
You're reserving they should not have cancelled the arrest warrant.
Oh, yes, they shouldn't have.
But this is what Senator Bamidele said, that, look, the power to issue warrant affecting the liberty of a citizen is an extraordinary statutory power which must be exercised strictly in accordance with the procedure prescribed by law. I established that while you take it to heart. The committees, when they sit, Senator Adams Oshomole has also stated that it was he, the Senate President, who said, when you sit as a committee, you have my powers as the Senate President, right? The chairman of that committee speaks the voice of the Senate President. So, how do we connect this disconnect now? At what point do you think the Senate is missing or mincing its words?
There is no disconnect. That's just the way I see it. Because you see, the Senate sits as a committee of the whole. Now, when the Senate, when you are the chairman of a Senate committee, you don't make yourself a chairman of the Senate committee. You are appointed the chairman of the Senate committee by the approval by the Senate President with absolute approval of the members of the House. Okay, so when you sit as the chairman of a Senate committee, you do not sit as Theodore Williams. You sit as the chairman of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the powers invested in the president of the Senate at that point is delegated power given to you. Do you understand? So now the issue is this: if Malakiari feels that, look, the Senate lacks the constitutional, the statutory powers to issue an arrest warrant, he has lawyers. He should go to court to challenge that. The Senate should not be the one to sit and reverse itself, because reversing itself clearly shows a political undertone. The man has not showed up in person. The man's lawyer has not written to the Senate to say, okay, my client is this or is that. Leave this story that they are flying around. No, there have been no positive steps legally taken by the man to justify his refusal to appear before the Senate committee for 9 times. There has been no legal justification for him to refuse to appear for 9 consecutive calls. My brother, let's call a spade a spade. The leadership of this very Senate has disappointed Nigeria. That's what it is.
Okay. Well, just part of the conversation this morning. I know you, as a Nigerian, you've got your thoughts regarding that. Just maybe we'll create time to get your reactions. Regardless, this morning, just on the heels of the commemoration of the democracy in Nigeria, which was on Friday, June 12th, and what we've done is to resist the temptation of having another routine democracy conversation. Because if we're honest with ourselves, Nigerians, we've become, a bit too good at talking about democracy every June, yet to some extent quite reluctant to interrogate what democracy actually means in our everyday lives. We get to measure democracy by elections. We count how many years have passed since military rule. We celebrate civilian government. We point to democratic institutions. But perhaps we should ask a more difficult question. That was the thought right here at the XL Place. Questions along the lines of, can a country truly be democratic when people demand the rule of law only when it benefits them? Can a country truly be democratic when public office is often viewed as an investment to be recovered? Questions along the lines of, can a country truly be democratic when citizens routinely violate the very laws that they expect governments to enforce? Can we truly be democratic as a country when ethnicity often matters more than competence, when loyalty to individuals sometimes outweighs loyalty to institutions, and when political support is often determined not necessarily by performance but by sentiment? These are just some of the questions we thought to build our conversations on this time around as we talk about democracy in Nigeria. 27 years of uninterrupted civilian rule. Worth celebrating. Why? You turn around, you see brother countries, today that have been taken over, now ruled by the military, right? So you would have one reason or sort to appreciate 27 years of enjoying civilian government, no doubt. But it's about time we started asking ourselves the difficult questions. But we'll pay attention to the electoral side of things as well as we get on before the ballots this morning. So, Akwa Ibom State, please stay with us.
Live from the heart of Uyo. All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
Elections are not just about voting, they are about understanding. Before the Ballot is XLFM's civic education program preparing citizens for the 2027 elections. One conversation at a time. Know your right. Know the process. Know your power. Mondays, 9:30 a.m. on the XL Super Breakfast Show. Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. on XL Citizen Center. Before the Ballot, power belongs to the informed.
All right, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, come closer now. Let further interrogate this beautiful democracy of ours. Because we've established one thing, and that is the fact that it goes beyond just voting. It's more about accountability today. It's about civic responsibility today to a larger extent, and even respecting our institutions this morning. So, as we move beyond the celebration to ask those questions that will not necessarily be asked on conversations like this, I'm delighted to welcome once again Theodore Williams, Esquire, this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, let's begin from a point where, first off, we have many Nigerians define democracy simply as the ability to vote every 4 years. Some Nigerians define democracy in that light. As a lawyer, what constitutes a functioning democracy beyond voting today?
Unfortunately, it's pathetic that the lived reality of Nigerians is the fact that democracy is every election year, and you cannot blame them for arriving at that conclusion. Why? Because by the time a government is elected and May 29th it is sworn in, the government either starts to look for excuses to justify why it is not doing what it's supposed to do, begins to point hands at the previous administration. The first thing they announce is that they met a debt profile, they met an empty treasury, and they begin to tell you that we are in this position because the previous administration didn't do what they ought to have done. You find out that they spent 2 years or so doing all of those explanations and doing jamborees. By the time they enter into the third year, there's no governance. What they're preparing for is the next elections, which is what we are seeing right now. So that has become the lived reality of the Nigerian people. And so you don't blame them for giving that definition to democracy because, there was a time somebody said we should have militocracy in Nigeria, where we have elected officers of the Senate, governors, and then we have a military head of state. And so Nigeria always has a way of finding a different brand to everything that the world has created. So this is our own brand of democracy, where we wait till every 4 years. By the time we enter into the third year of the elected administration, governance is thrown into the windows, and then we have elections. So whatever semblance of governance we have is usually what the minders of government begin to do to appeal to electorates. And so you see that definition is very apt as far as the Nigerian situation is concerned. But when you ask about constitutional democracy, and then of course democracy as a word, as a system of government, has a definite definition. I think one of the most popular definitions is that it is a government for the people, by the people, and
that's right.
You know, the one that was given by Abraham Lincoln. Yes, that's one of the most popular or acceptable.
I mean, in Nigeria.
I've just given you the definition of democracy in Nigeria. So, democracy in Nigeria is about I vote you in. You know, you bulldoze your way in. You suppress voters into and then you get the electoral body to declare you, and then you tell me go to court. You know, because and of course, any man who has a brother in court will tell you to go to court. You know, so that's the democracy in Nigeria. But ideally, constitutional democracy means a democratic process of governance that is embedded with the law of the land. And one of the major tenets of democracy is the right of the people to require and demand accountability from the government. One of the other tenets of democracy is that the government holds itself as a trustee for the people. So the government is accountable to the people, and it gives it is the overriding public interest, the overriding safety of the people, the overriding identity of the nation or of the people of the country that is the directive principle of state policy. And so the government runs for the good of the people. Unfortunately, we cannot say that the government in Nigeria runs for the good of the Nigerian people. You cannot say that when the Nigerian people, as represented by the 109 senators in the Senate of Nigeria, are standing on a single man's mandate rather than on the Nigerian people's mandate. You cannot say that when you have over how many people in the Federal House of Reps who are standing on one man's mandate, when the 236 million Nigerians gave them a mandate. You cannot say that when you come to Akwa Ibom State, you have over 10 million people in Akwa Ibom State, and then 26 persons or so in a State House of Assembly are standing on one person's mandate, whereas it was not one man who voted them. If you look at the election results released by INEC, none of these persons were elected by a vote. They were elected by the cumulative vote of the people of Akwa Ibom State, cumulative vote of the people of Nigeria from their various constituencies to represent them in the Nigerian Senate. But today, we have all of them standing on one man's vote. And one man cannot make a democracy. It cannot make a democracy because democracy is a collective governance. It's a collective process of government. Because you will come from wherever you're coming from. I'll come from wherever I'm coming from, and then we will meet. And that's why the Senate is supposed to be, the National Assembly is supposed to be a melting pot to melt up the Nigerian ideas and forge a new Nigeria. All right, by directing and having oversight function on the executive, so that when the executive does what it does, and it doesn't fit the directive principle of state policy of the Nigerian people will speak via the Nigerian legislature. But today, the Nigerian people don't have a voice in the Nigerian governance because our legislators don't speak for us. They speak for one man. So it's a problem. So you cannot say that Nigeria is practicing in 27 years constitutional democracy. No.
Now, there's a handful of conversation around impunity as raised by statesmen, who gathered on June 12th, Friday, somewhere in Abuja, to talk about this democracy of ours, sort of relive the memories of the MKO Abiola, the Kudirat Abiola, and a host of other, people, names at the time. But as we talk impunity in the country today, it brings to light a core pillar of democracy, which is the rule of law. We have a situation in the country where a handful of Nigerians tend to perceive what they describe as selective obedience to the law, especially in some cases when it has to do with public office holders and execution of their functions. So I ask, would you say that Nigeria is genuinely governed today by the rule of law? And how have we fared in that regard for the years behind us now?
I will just ask one. I'm sorry, I will have to answer that question with a question. And the question is this. If Nigeria is truly governed by the rule of law, this government awarded a 15 trillion naira coastal highway project. Was there due process in the award of that contract? that will give you an answer to that question. If we awarded a 15 trillion naira coastal highway and there was no public bidding, and there are laws in this country that requires that all government contracts must be publicly bidded, must be advertised and publicly bidded for. Was that process? The procurement laws in this country are there. Was that process followed to give the star project of this president 15 trillion naira coastal highway? Was that project ever in the public? Was there a place in the Nigerian budget where that project was listed as part of the expenditure of the government of Nigeria? That's what you need to look at it. If you look at that and you can give an answer to that, then that will tell you whether Nigeria runs under the rule of law. Now you come down to Akwa Ibom State. This is where I live. All right. Recently, the governor of Akwa Ibom State was doing rounds of inspection in further, press interview, press media parley and all of that. And the issue of Tabernacle Road came up, where that road has become a menace to the users and the residents of that area. And the governor said, from his own voice, that he guaranteed the contractor that get this job done. Now, till today, Akwa Ibom people don't know how much is that road.
Well, the governor says he paid in full.
I don't know about that. I'm not the accountant general of the state. But the question is, as an Akwa Ibom son, do I know the cost of constructing Tabernacle Road? What is the cost? And by law, am I supposed to know? Yes. So that will help you to answer whether the state is governed or whether Nigeria's democracy is done on the principles or on the basis of rule of law. Now, rule of law simply states that every person and actions of government and individuals are done as stipulated by the law. That's it. So that is what simply the rule of law means. The rule of law means that if Theodore, by law, is entitled to 10,000 naira, then Inemese should not at any point be deprived of 10,000 naira for no justification. So it's like what they say, Israel, Gentile. That's what rule of law says. Rule of law means we must be guided by the rules of the laws, that we must be guided by the spirit of the law that we have agreed to be bound by. Now, is Nigeria that country that is, yes, we say we are doing democracy 27 years. I can give you 1,000%, 1,000 instances where there is no government in this country. What is rule of law? Rule of law says that if a person has been found wanting, committing a crime, the crime of sedition, the crime of terrorism, what's the punishment for it? Now people came, and what did the government do? They said they are the repentant militants. They are reintegrating repentant. Do you repent as a militant? Now, there are certain persons. Now, these same persons are called repentant militant, but the same IPOP people were not given the same treatment. But when IPOP people are caught, they are shot. They are neutralized. Let me use that word. They are neutralized.
Oh, bandits are neutralized too.
No. Bandits are rehabilitated. Bandits are prodigal sons. Bandits are our brothers. These are words, these are policies, these are statements of Nigerian officers, government officials of Nigeria, who has the responsibility, all right, to protect the lives and property of Nigerians. So bandits in Nigeria are prodigal sons who are deserving of forgiveness. Bandits in Nigeria are our brothers.
Is that what the law says?
Who are deserving of reintegration. Now, but IPOP, ECN are not our brothers. They are not prodigal sons. So does that now does the rule of law apply? Does the rule of law apply? Because if we're talking about rule of law, now let's bring it down. For democracy to thrive, there must be rule of law, and that means everybody is equal before the law. That's equality before the law. So let's bring it down. Is there rule of law in Nigeria?
Good. We'll leave it at that question. Now, the first part of this conversation, we've attempted to examine our democracy beyond elections. There's a lot more we could talk about, but Esquire, at some point, every democracy returns to the ballot box. In fact, our history in the country, sort of paints or builds a beautiful castle around elections when we talk about democracy. And perhaps that is where we should turn our attention now, because we have people often complain about leaders. People complain about the performance of leaders, when we understand that democracy ultimately gives citizens a role in selecting those leaders. The question now becomes if elections are the mechanism through which citizens shape their future. Why do so many democracies continue to produce outcomes that citizens later regret? Is the problem the electoral process here, the institutions, the political class, or the voters themselves?
Is an hydra-headed dragon, because at the end of the day, the electorates have a say in who is elected.
Right.
The electoral umpire has a say in how the elections are conducted. The politicians, the political class, the elites, have a say on who is elected. So at the end of the day, you see that there is no national interest in the electoral processes in Nigeria. Yes. Now, when you talk about June 12, 1993, I can relive the experience. Every day I talk about June 12, I relive that experience because I was a full-grown teenager. I knew what happened in 1993. I was in Lagos. I knew what happened in 1993. I mean, I can relive that election. It was one of the most peaceful. In fact, the Holy Spirit gave the ambience. You could feel that everybody in Nigeria was just in a very peaceful mode all over. So now, if you look at what happened in 1993, the people decided that it was time for us to say goodbye to the military government, and they had chosen a candidate, and they were not going to win the election by suppression or intimidation. We're going to win the elections by our votes. All right. And the Nigerian people went out and voted as constitutionally required of them. Okay. Now, there was a problem. What was the problem? The insincerity of the electoral umpire. Okay. Now, the electoral umpire who had the right to announce the election by law did not announce the elections. Okay. So that created the doubt. Now, why didn't the electoral umpire announce the result of the election? Because the political elites had an interest. That was not the national interest. So that's why I said if you look at that chain. You look at that chain. So the electorates sometimes, and in most cases, are willing to exercise their civic responsibility of coming out to vote. All right. And now they have a candidate that they prefer that will lead them. And they vote that candidate. Now, the electoral umpire is supposed to announce the candidate. But now, does the candidate that has won the election fit into the prisms of the political elites? That brings a question mark to our electoral processes. Like, as I was coming here, I was coming to this radio program, I was in a tricycle, and I told the guy that he was complaining. I said, man, the only way you can do it is to, he said he's not voting. He said I should not even mention that thing, that his vote doesn't count. That what's the point? So at the end of the day, it is a question of what has been the culture that Nigeria has created for itself in terms of elections. What is the culture? What is our election culture in this country? Our election culture in this country is that of violence, manipulation, suppression, and declaration. That is the culture of election in Nigeria. And until that culture changes, because the people are ready to vote. In 2023, we saw a movement of the people who were willing to vote. You saw what happened in Lagos. In spite of the suppression of voters, the manipulation, the brutalization of voters, they were determined to vote. They stood in the rain and said with their blood they were voting, because the Nigerian people are determined to ensure that this country doesn't fail in their generation. But what happened? The electoral umpire and the political elites have a different, had a different agenda, and that is why democracy, the election culture in Nigeria has to change. And what will change that? When we have institutions, for instance, the electoral umpire as an institution has to be independent of the political elite's control.
How can that be done today?
It can be done. It can be done. Because if at the end of the day, we vote a chairman for INEC, we not appoint. Let the person who wants to become chairman of INEC be voted.
So you're sharing that school of thought?
No, let the person that wants to become the chairman of INEC be voted.
Be voted.
So that he conducts one election term.
Okay.
Conducts one election term. So that this year, we would have voted the chairman who will conduct election for us next year.
Okay. So that's, you're also implying independent funding.
If you're independent, it shouldn't be appointed. The chairman of INEC should be voted by Nigerians. Let us see your pedigrees. Let us see your antecedents. All right. We're not talking about being SM. We're not talking about being this and being that. We're talking about people who in their lifetime have had the capacity to look at 10 million naira and say no. People in their lifetime who have had the capacity to look $10 million and say no, because there are people like that. There are people like that in this country. There are people who have built their reputation from the scratch. Yes, Nigerians are poor. Yes, Nigeria is a rich nation inhabited by poor people. That's the unfortunate reality of Nigeria. Because you cannot tell me that a country that has had 210 trillion unaccounted for and is still surviving, the president is still buying private jets. It's not a poor country. Nigeria is a rich country inhabited by poor people. And so another thing is, every government in this country, like I said earlier in my opening remarks, do not consign themselves with the development of the Nigerian people, but they are concerned with the structuring of the electoral process to their own benefit. And so what do? They weaponize poverty. They spend the first 2 years to weaponize poverty. People SSA to the SSA to the SSA, and then give them peanuts.
It's a deliberate move?
It's a deliberate practice. When I was in school,
some say that it is just the way the economy is, that it will take some time for you to cause a shift that is tangible.
I disagree with you. You know why? Who runs the economy? The political elites.
Okay.
So they fail to make the economy work so that you don't live. If the economy works, you're no longer at their apron string. You're not tied to their apron string. So that's what they do. Now, let me give you an example. If you go to Onitsha main market,
right,
most times on election days, if those guys had their way, they'll be selling in their shops. Yes. Because they're not interested, because they don't live by government. They don't live by government contracts. I have a friend whom we went to university together for 5 years. He got called to bar the same year and same day was called. He doesn't practice law. He owns a shop in Onitsha main market. He has never entered into a courtroom before. He's a multi-billionaire. So he is not interested in your legal practice. He's not interested in your government policies. He is interested in a container. Do you have my container from China? That is what he's interested in. And then you walk into his shop. He has a warehouse, but where he sits is just about the size of this studio. So you're talking about election. You're talking about that street here. He's not interested. So that's what the government do. If they fix infrastructure, power infrastructure, you will see that if you have a welding work to do to deliver and make 10 million naira, you will not go and leave your welding work and wait polo and go and stand at the stadium. You won't do that. So they make that so that when you're sitting down idle in your barber's shop, you don't have electricity to barb. Customers come, no lights to barb them. Then you can't afford to buy fuel. My brother, they will promise you 1,000. You will leave just to get entertainment and with the hope of getting 1,000.
Council, now, while you have asserted that there's a lot of work that has to be done institutionally speaking, you've even posited that the chairman of INEC should be voted for.
There's no reason to appoint a chairman
not
for
appointed. Now, it links us straight up to the conversation that has demanded a move away from the question of can INEC conduct free elections to a question of even if elections become perfectly free and fair tomorrow, are we guaranteed better governance? Help us situate that in the light of the concept of dividends of democracy. To an extent, some people feel that particular concept has been watered down by what has been handed down in quotes as dividends of democracy, knowingly and unknowingly, by politicians today in Nigeria. So, in all of that, as you walk us through that, let us understand, can an election, right, be technically free? Should we have a chairman elected of INEC, right? And the processes are just to be free and fair. Is it possible that it can be free and fair and still produce poor governance outcomes? What will be the underlying factors in there?
There is no perfect society. There is not anywhere in the world. And for you to say that we would, or to assume that because we have a free and fair election, that we will have a candidate that will do all things and solve all problems, it's not going to work. Because, like we've said, first and foremost, let us get the process of electing people into offices in Nigeria right. Because one president in this country, on his inauguration, admitted that the process that brought him to government is questionable, to power is questionable, and that he hopes during his tenure to embrace or to undertake far-reaching reforms to make the process more credible, and has led President Yar'Adua. What level of honesty could you have even expected? And that's when we had leaders that's when that was an individual thing. So it's not a matter of the system that brought him. It was a matter of his own person. So when we don't have human beings, but we have people, we have other things in form of human beings. Because this president fought for June 12. This very president fought for June 12. This very president was exiled. He went on self-exile because of June 12. This very president was an advocate for human rights and true democracy, true federalism. This same president today is elected president. Can we say that his conducts and actions in the last 3 years are anything close to the things that he has on record as a Democrat? So even if we have a perfect electoral process to elect a person, now you cannot, even the devil knows not the intention of a man's heart. Even the devil does not know the intention of a man's heart, and so it is not written in the face. We can only hope that if we have a good electoral process, that will help us to continue to revamp the system, revamp the process, because we know that if every 4 years, and again, it begs the question of the function of the National Assembly. All right, because if we vote you in, and then we discover that look, you lack what it takes, that all of that was Photoshop, packaging, and then you get elected, even as a governor, and then you lack the mental capacity, you lack the foresight, the physical strength to even do what you need to do in that office. The Constitution makes provision for those processes called impeachment. Even in the Senate, makes provision for recalling. So again, the mindset of the people, the electoral culture in Nigeria is the culture of impunity. That's the problem. So the moment we are able to kill a commissioner in this state, made a comment one day. There was somebody somebody drove I think a vehicle went against the traffic one way, and I kind of I stopped them, and the commissioner came and he made a comment that belittled him and his office and the government in my presence. And I looked at him. You don't do, because what is commissioner, so he feels he's immune. I mean, he has impunity to everything. That's the problem. So
in 30 seconds, as we need to wrap up, what are those pointers we need to bring to force, as it concerns the pathway to upholding our democracy differently from how we've done in the past as a people and as institutions in Nigeria today?
The orientation has to start from home. It is the way we raise our children at home. Parents just feel that when I talk, you cannot talk. With the moment we begin to democratize processes, all right, and put checks and balances,
right,
people will grow up with that mentality. But you see, when people have been grown up, when people are raised with the mentality of law and of force and command structure, they grow up with that into the society.
So it begins from home.
Everything starts from home.
Then, as it regards the institutions,
good. As regards the institution, we must not fail to ask questions. Those people that the National Assembly, the State House Assembly, these are the people that will help to give to fashion out a path for our institution so that they can be strengthened. But once they failed and look the other way, like what has happened to NNPCL now, somebody is asking for that institution to be strengthened, and some persons are saying, off your mic, remain in your honor. That's the problem.
Theodore Williams, thank you so much, Esquire, for your time and your insights this morning as we talk elections and our democracy. And as we leave this conversation today, perhaps the question is not whether democracy is working for Nigeria. Perhaps it gets more deeper when we ask whether all of us, leaders, citizens alike, are doing enough to make our democracy work. That's where today's reflection pauses. Akwa Ibom State, thank you for being a part of the Super Breakfast Show. On behalf of the team this morning, I am Inemesid Godwin. To have a blessed new week.